Welcome to Manager League Training. Today we're going to go over the new registration setup wizard. Right here, to get to the new registration setup wizard, you're going to go to Setup, Registration, and Registration Setup Wizard. So when you pull up this page, you're going to notice that we have one of our sections open already. This is a step-by-step registration editor. So this will walk you through all the main steps of your registration. If you've already set up your registration or you're coming here just to make some changes to certain pages, you can scroll down and navigate to the different sections just by clicking on any of these ones here. We're going to start in the first section here, which is the basic registration look. In the registration look section, we can change the colors of our registration. The template color here will adjust the top bar. So we can adjust this and see that it'll change the top bar and the bottom bar here. Our primary navigation color will actually change the background of our side menu here. So if we change the color, you're going to see this background color has changed. Now the secondary navigation is just going to cover this welcome option here, so we can change this to whatever we like and come here. Now, since we've made these changes, they are not actually active yet or live to the registration. Once we are done, you can see this not saved is here, letting us know that we need to save these options. So we can click Save Changes. You'll see that it now says saved, and now you'll be able to see these changes in your registration. So we can click the Next button here, or we can click the next section. I'm going to click Next. So here in the next section, we have our intro step. So here's a couple options and boxes where we can actually adjust and make changes. So in the beginning here, we can change the registration prepend. That's going to be, something at the top of the page that we want to say. So if we want to say welcome to registration, as you notice when I'm typing, it actually will show up on the preview on your right hand side as you're typing. So now you have the re-register link text. The re-register link text is going to be here. So default, without anything in the box, is going to say click here if you're a returning player or family. So you could put something in like log in here. Something simple if you want to change it, or you can leave it as the default. If you didn't want people to be able to log in, you want everybody to come in as a new player, you can check this box here and it'll actually remove or disable that button. So now re-register follow-up is going to be something that's in between the two buttons right after the register button. So we can say if we want something, username and password required. Okay, so now we have username and password required as some pre-text underneath the button. Any sort of instructions that you want to give or anything of that nature. So now we can also change the welcome link text. You can say new registration, or I'm new to this league, something like of that nature. This is going to be the button if you don't have an account in the Manager League system, or a parent record or player record, any of those, you would type in here. You can also disable that button as well by checking the box, and you can give instructions. So something like, I am not in the system. You can put underneath. When you're done, you'll have this not saved option here. Again, you have to make sure you click Save Your Changes. So we'll take a look at welcome step here. And this next section will cover basically your intro. So as you can see, we have some basic information here. I know a lot of leagues like to put their fees right at the beginning, kind of a fee schedule or important information saying evaluations will be on the 17th or something of that nature. In this left box here, this is going to be the list of your step fields. If you've used our system before, the step fields are the items that you've added in the registration editor. Now we've kind of streamlined the process. So if you want to edit this field here or this field here, you can click this box. It'll scroll you down to where you can edit here. Or you can also click on the option in here and it will load it up in the window down below. So also if we have two fields, or if we want to add, let's say we want to add a new field, we can click on new field. We can say this is a new field. and that's going to be the title of it. We can do plain text or a yes, no drop down. Those are the only two options available on the welcome page. So if we do a plain text here, we can say here, this is a new field. As you can see, it's popping up on the preview as I'm typing. So now that we got all of our information, this is a full-fledged editor. You can change font color. You can, change your justifications. You can make it bold, italic, underline. You can do a bunch of different things here. Add smiley faces if you want. You can do a lot. You can also, if you want to go full screen, you can click this box here. It'll open up the window into full screen. Maybe that's a little bit easier for you to edit and see. And then when you're done, you can click those green arrows again, and it'll bring you back down. So now we want to add this field. So we'll scroll down to the bottom here and click Add Field. So now you can see our field is in the list. Say we want this new field to be above the field that we already have in there. We're actually going to hold and drag this above, and you'll see in the preview it pops up. Just make sure after you change your order that you save your order. So now our order has been saved, and this is the way it will show in registration. If we want to remove this field we've created, we can click here. You're going to see it loads up all the information that we want. We don't want to change it. We just want to remove it. There's a remove field button here. It's going to ask and make sure that you want to remove the field. You click OK, and now the field has been removed. So that's just the basic welcome step. So now if we click next, we're going to go over to the parent page setup. So here we have a couple basic options. You'll see we can automatically fill city in with Williamsville, fill state in with New York, and fill zip in with the standard zip that we have set up in our setup organization league on the contact tab. This is where it's getting this information from. So we can change these options whether or not we want them to fill in. Just make sure if we make changes that we click save here, and then that'll alert us that we have saved these options. So if we take a look at this here, this is going to be the same as the other one, but these are our custom fields. So right now we don't have any custom fields displaying. So let's say we want to take work concession. You can see all these say no, so we have no custom fields. We can click on work concession, and then we can click display. That'll show it up on here on our little preview showing what we have. Would you like to work? Click the checkbox kind of thing. These are our custom fields. These are going to be specifically associated with the parent. So it's going to show you all the parent custom fields that are here. So let's say we want to make work concession visible, and then we want to add a new field. So we can add in here shirt size. Maybe the parents are also going to get a shirt. So if we type in shirt here, just something short for the abbreviation, only 4 characters long. This is going to be what your question will say. So right now we're not seeing anything on the other side, but that's because I haven't clicked the display option. So now you'll see in display, shirt size will show. We can set this as a required field if we want. That'll tell us that it's required. This allow edit on public site will actually allow the parent to go in and log in on the front end and make changes from their profile editor in the front site. Then we also have this here where we can change what options we want. So if we're doing shirt size, we probably want a list. So right now there's no list items in here, but say we want to do small, we can add, and we can do medium, and that's the only 2 options they get. Hopefully there's nobody larger. But we can put small and medium here. Say we want medium to be at the top, we can drag and change the order. Once we're all set, we can click add field. And now you're going to see over here on the side, we're going to see our shirt size. We have 2 options for shirt size, and we have it required. We can also go back in here and say we don't want these to display. We can come back in, check display, save our change. And then if we don't want to display the new shirt size, the other option is if we want shirt size to show up first above everything else, we can drag and drop this. It'll say our order's not been saved, and we can save the order. Most of these boxes like this, you can drag and drop the items to change the order, and then now this question would be the first question to show in the list. But we don't want this to display anymore, so we can turn it off and click save. So we'll go on next to the player step. If you are an adult league, you won't have the last step, the parent step. You'll just see this player step. Player step is very similar to the parent step. You're going to see we have a couple more options here on the top, include birth certificate, grade, school, division selection, jersey number, height, weight. You can check these and see over in the preview. It'll actually go away or display. We also have emergency contact options here. Say you want to include contact 1, you can click here. If you want to require it, you can click require next to it, and now it'll be required option. The other thing we have is we have require username and password. Since we've made changes, we always want to make sure we save our changes. Down here, this is the same style as the parent. These would be our custom fields. As you can see, there's a bunch of custom fields already displaying over here. Let's say we want to change shirt size to be at the top. We can find shirt size here. We can drag it up to the top. Now it's going to be at the top here, and we can save the order. We can also add all the different options like we could in the parent step as well. So now that we're done with this step, we can click next. And now we're going to see our custom pages. So in here we have some custom pages that are in our registration. Some of these may be older pages that we haven't used. You can see some aren't displaying. You also have, clearance fees. Some these coach volunteer pages, they are displaying. So we're going to click on these items here. It's going to open up some of our options. These are the actual step options, so we can change the name. We can set whether we want it on or off. Required here is actually going to make the whole step required. What that means is at least one question on the page has to be answered to move forward. We have access all. We can change it to administrator or all, and we can also set it so that we skip this page for admins if we want. We do have this edit restrictions button here. What this will do is it will restrict this page to either certain divisions, ages, grades, or whether it's a returning player or not. You can either require, which means this step will show up for whatever leagues that you check here, or you can exclude, meaning this step will not show up for whatever divisions you choose here. Either way, just select whatever you want, then click OK, and it'll store your restrictions. Once you're done with the restrictions or making any changes here, if you want to save any of your changes, just make sure you click Save Step Options. You also have the option to remove the step if you want to remove your step here. You can drag and drop these as well. So if you want to change the order of your pages, you can drag and drop and change the order in which your steps display. Just make sure you save the order when you're done. So now we get into the actual page options here. This is very similar to adding custom fields in the parent step or the player step. It's kind of the same. You choose your step field here. It allows you to change your step field options, your field name. You can choose which custom field it associates to. So if you want this answer, this checkbox to store, you'll have to choose a custom field for it to go to. If you don't have a custom field created yet for this field, you can click this little plus button and an option box will come up to create a custom field. Very similar to the options about making custom fields for player or parent. The only thing here is you can choose the field relation. So if you want the field to store for the parent, the player, or the registration. Both player and registration will associate to the player, but most people would put registration in the case of things that are going to change from season to season. Other leagues would put player for anything that's kind of stick with the player. So now we can make all of our changes here. We also have restrictions on the question. So if we only want this question to display for certain divisions or not display for certain divisions, we can do that as well. We can also choose between our steps here and pull up all of our different steps. We can also say, okay, I want to choose the volunteer. We can click on volunteer in here and it will load up the volunteer, and then we can choose our questions and make our changes here. We can also remove the field, or we can save the field once we are done. So the next step here and the last step is going to be the payment setup step. So in here we're going to have all of our fee groups, very similar to what you see in setup registration fee structure. All of our fee groups are listed here. So let's say we want to edit our registration fee group. We'll have a couple options for the whole group itself. We can change the name. We can associate it to whatever payment group we want. Most of the time you're only going to use registration. Family maximum we can set, so the maximum amount of money a family can pay in this group. So if you have a family max of $250, you would put $250 in here and then save your fee group options. So here we have all of our different fees. So we can click this and get all the options for our fee, similar to what you would see in the fee structure page as well. You can change the name. You can associate it to a custom field. So if you want it to go to, say, this fee is actually going to associate to, if I checked work concession, you would do that. and then it would charge the fee only if someone checked that box. So then we have some of our variables over here, which division we want it to start. So if we want it to go from our division U6 all the way to our division rookies 1, so now these divisions in between, so U6, minors A, rookies 1, U8, and rookies 1 here will all be covered by this fee. That's what that start and end division will do. We also can do it by age, number per family. We can do applicable to gender, and then we have our fee options over here. So we have our quantity, which is how many children are registering. So if you're registering 1 child, your fee would be $5. If you're registering two children, your fee would be, let's say in this case, you get a discount and your fee is only $4. If you're registering 5 children, your fee at that point after for each child would be $3, and so on. So if you're registering 10 children, the 10th child will pay $3. You have the early bird fee, the early bird 2, and the late fee. These options can all be changed in the season options. Early bird 1 fee will actually this right now it's disabled, but once you have the early bird date in your season editor, you can actually edit these fields. The other option is your late fee here. If you have a late fee date in here, these options will open and you'll be able to change your late fee. Early bird fee is going to be the total amount. So if you want your early bird fee to the parent to pay $4 for early bird fee, you would put $4 in here. The late fee is going to be the additional amount on top of the fee. So if you want the late fee to be $6, you would put $5 in here and $1 in there. Anytime you make any changes, just make sure you save each section and it will adjust. You can also add new fee codes by clicking here, and it will take you step by step through each section of it. Once you finish this step, you can then save. It'll bring you to the next variable step. You can save that, and it will bring you to the fee step. You save that, and now your fee has been added and saved. You'll see it at the bottom here. That is it for the registration editor. Once you are done, you can finish here and click OK. That will bring you back to your admin dashboard. Thank you for listening here, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.